Happy Friday, everyone. Ray here. Today I want to take a look at a couple things. The primary thing being Nick Shirley speaking at CPAC. A number of people said he gave a very good speech. So I'm looking forward to taking a listen to it and see what he has to say. But before that, I wanted to go over a couple other things. So let's just jump right into it. All right, first thing here. This is just my page. So first thing here, we got some ICE agents being harassed by a typical Democrat these days at the airport. Let's take a look.
No thoughts. You guys are the...
It's a little loud, I think.
No thoughts. You guys are the foot soldiers of a fascist regime, right? Is that not what it is?
You see him laughing?
Is that funny? Is that funny? No thoughts.
That's it. So you got this. Sounds like a white guy to me. Like you can see I'm white as fuck. I've known a lot of white people in my life. A lot of not white people too, to be fair. That is a white as fuck individual out there harassing these ICE agents, and you can see. All right, let's mute that. You can see you got you rewind all the way. You got a black man here. That's a Hispanic dude. That's a bigger white guy there in the front, potentially Hispanic. And who else? There are a couple more. Another black guy in the back. So you got this white retard out here harassing a bunch of minorities because CNN told him to. That's about it. Because Tim Waltz, Jacob Frey, and CNN told him to. Because a bunch of white dumbasses told him, hey, go harass these fucking minorities working for ICE. Just fucking disgusting. And I think something like this should at minimum, this is in the airport, so at minimum get you kicked out of the airport, maybe put on the no-fly list out of that airport maybe, or even into that airport. And personally, I think you should get arrested for something like this. Maybe just like a day in jail or something, maybe a week or something. I think you should get arrested for this. You're out there filming and harassing people, calling them all kinds of shit that they aren't. And I mean, you got the freedom of speech to say whatever you want, I guess. Well, almost whatever you want, but like these people just go out there and they harass people. You can't harass people. That's illegal. Newsflash. But anyways, yeah, it's just fucking funny. This is a great reaction from these guys. Just fucking laugh it off. That's the best reaction to these retarded pieces of shit. Just laugh in their face, because that's all they deserve. They're worthless pieces of shit. Just laugh at them. It's the best thing you can do. They should use this video and as a ICE training video, as the appropriate way to deal with these people. Just laugh in their face. That's all they deserve. All right, next thing, I saw this video. I thought it was pretty funny. Take a look at this.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
Damn straight, Bill.
Policies are shambles, plain and simple. And right now, our borders are amazingly porous to people who shouldn't be here, such as terrorists, drug smugglers, etc.
Preach, Chuck.
If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship. And we wonder, in this country, why we have an illegal immigration problem.
You're incentivizing it. That's right.
Unlawful immigration is not acceptable.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws.
That's right.
It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Damn straight, Bill. All rise. All rise for Bill. That's right. And this is what myself and a lot of other people have been saying. Today's Democrats, you are not Democrats. On the political spectrum, this is a center. You used to be, is it inverted? Where's the camera? You used to be, no, it's not inverted. No, it is, but it isn't. Strange. Today's Democrats, let's see, Democrats used to be like here, Republicans used to be I don't know, maybe a little further here. I'll use my head as the center. Ooh. And now Democrat. No, it is inverted. You son of a bitch. Now Democrats left, right? They're way the fuck over here. They're off the fucking screen. They're off the fucking map, bro. You're not Democrats anymore. You're extremists. You are extremist. And a lot of Republicans, and specifically a lot of MAGA people, they're kind of over here. Ooh. They're centrist, they're independents, they're moderates, whatever you want to label it. That's what a lot of the MAGA people are. Okay? They represent what Democrats used to represent. For fuck's sake, I voted for Trump 3 times. Guess who the first person I ever voted for in my life was? Did I vote? Was I old enough to vote Bush? I don't think so. 92. No, I wasn't old enough to vote Bush. First person I ever voted for was Obama in his first term. I'm proof of it. So I, an independent, I represent a lot of Democrat policies from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Today's Democrats are not Democrats, okay? It's absurd. Let me alt-tab back. So Bill Clinton, and there's all kinds of clips like this out there. All kinds. I mean, they have Obama. There's a lot of Obama saying the same kind of shit. It's actually kind of crazy. All right, what else we want to look at? We'll just go down the line here. All right, one more thing I want to look at. We got Jeffrey Mead. I didn't listen to his analysis yet, but he's got the same video in there I want to look at. Take a look at this.
Until we have done everything in our power.
Wow, this one's a little quiet. Hang on. Of course, I full screen this one. Maybe.
Until we have done everything in our power to bring the United States to its knees, let us not lose sight of the enemy. For every U.S. military base that crumbles, and for every U.S. soldier who returns
the U.S. to its knees, he said.
Of the enemy. For every U.S. military base that crumbles,
U.S. bases that crumble.
Who returns home in a casket, we cheer.
They cheer for every U.S. military base that crumbles and every U.S. service member that comes home in a casket. And look at the response. All the mindless retards. Yeah. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is in America, by the way. I think this was in Philly, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
This is in the United States, and these are the type of people that...
This is just the other day.
If left up to Democrats, they would allow as many of these people into the country that want to come. That is a problem. This is another example of why having a border matters and why enforcing your border matters.
Yep.
Now, on top of this, I think the State Department should try to find out who every individual is at this rally.
Yep.
And if they are not a U.S. citizen, deport them.
I'll take it further. If they're not a U.S. citizen, deport them. I'd put them up on some kind of terrorism charges. And if they are a U.S. citizen, I'd put them up on domestic terrorism charges. I don't know, encouraging, supporting terrorism, etc., or sedition or something like that. Explicitly un-American language and actions.
Their legal status away. Get them out of the country. Why would we want to allow people in our country who want the demise of our own country?
Yep.
That is stupid. But again, if left up to Democrats, they would let these people in, as many that want to come. And when I talk about individual...
And think about that. If left up to Democrats... Listen to that again.
That is stupid. But again, if left up to Democrats, they would let these people in, as many...
If left up to Democrats, they would let these people in. Today's Democrats. If left up to actual Democrats, which I believe there's a lot of actual Democrats out there still, your 80s, your 90s, your 2000s Democrats out there who still identify as Democrats, and they need to just rise up and take their motherfucking party back. You need to kick out the Ilhan Omars, you need to kick out the Hakeem Jeffries, the fucking, who else, Kamala Harris, who else, I don't know, all these fucking losers. That one stupid bitch they just got rid of in Texas, Jasmine Crockett, I think, right? You need to kick all these dumb motherfuckers out. You need to take your motherfucking party back. Because your party is not Democrat anymore. It's extreme. It's a liberal extremism. And you're not going to have a lot of success going forward. I truly believe that. Anyways,
many that want to come. And when I talk about individuals in the US supporting terrorism and trying to legitimize terrorism as a way of doing things, again, here in the US, this is what I'm talking about.
more.
Hamas, Hezbollah, Ansar-Allah, all of the resistance forces we celebrate. These popular voices on the
They celebrate terrorist organization 1, terrorist regime 2, terrorist organization 3. We celebrate. Like, I mean, how are these people not in jail, bro?
ground spend every waking moment in direct confrontation with Zionism, and they rely on a strong Iranian state to maintain their fighting capacity.
So he just listed a bunch of terrorist organizations and tried to label them as resistance forces. Again, trying to legitimize terrorism as a way of doing things and make people think terrorism is simply resisting. These people are in the United States trying to spread that ideology.
Yep.
Again, why I say get them out of the country.
Get them out.
Also, why
Get
I
them
say
out.
who we let into this country and who we allow into this country to have children matters, because many of these people are likely citizens, and there's a good chance a fair amount of them came from immigrant parents. And when he talks about Zionism, he's essentially saying they don't want a Jewish state to exist.
Yeah.
That's essentially what Zionism is, Jewish people having a homeland. And this emerged in like the mid-19th century as a result of Jewish individuals being persecuted in countries around the world. And he's saying all these terrorist organizations need Iran to back them for them to operate. And again, and he's not necessarily wrong, and this is why what we're doing in Iran is important.
Yep. Recent video just came out of Joe Kent speaking with, I don't know who it was, somebody in 2024. And even Joe Kent, you know, he's under investigation now for potentially leaking classified information to Iran. And he's come out as a big anti-Iran war person, yada, 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 all this bullshit. Video came out of him in 2024, just 2 years ago, going through all this stuff about how bad Iran is, how they fund all these terrorist organizations, how, extremely pro interventionist interview with him. Pretty much everything Mr. Mead here just laid out. Let's do it again.
Jewish people having a homeland. And this emerged in like the mid-19th century as a result of Jewish individuals being persecuted in countries around the world. And he's saying all these terrorist organizations need Iran to back them for them to operate. And again, and he's not necessarily wrong, and this is why what we're doing in Iran is important.
Oh, yeah. And in that 2024 interview, Joe Kent, I should have queued it up, and we could have taken a look at it too, but I'm not sure where to find it. I saw it on Asmongold's stream. But Joe Kent outlined how every time, or not every time, but when Obama was in his second term, we saw surges in this terrorist activity because he would lighten the fucking sanctions and restrictions and shit on Iran. He would try to negotiate them. It's the old, what do you call it, metaphor or whatever of, Iran's out there with a closed fist, but lying and pretending they're out there with an open palm for negotiations, extending their hand out, and we're going to meet them with ours. Meanwhile, they're really out there with a closed fist. They're not really open to negotiating. They're just sitting there lying to us, and they make these deals and they don't follow through with them. And then we go, okay, well, they broke that deal, but maybe if we go talk to them again, they'll follow through this time. Well, no, they lied to you 99 out of 99 times. They're going to lie to you the 100th time too. That's why the only recourse we have is decisive action. That's it. Like, you have to use your fucking head, common sense. Where were we?
And when he talks about Zionism is Jewish people having a homeland. And this emerged in like the mid-19th. And he's saying all these terrorist organizations need Iran to back them for them to operate. And again, and he's not necessarily wrong, and this is why what we're doing in Iran is important.
Yep.
We are quite literally cutting the head off of the snake when it comes to the global state sponsor of terrorism.
Correct.
We don't want to wait till terrorism is knocking at our door in all of our cities and thousands of Americans are dying. We want.
I do think that line is a little exaggerated. I don't foresee, like, with the exception of nuclear capabilities, I don't foresee any kind of future where really any kind of major terrorist actions affect the United States outside of like isolated events. I really don't see another 9/11 happening, especially given our increased security standards. But yeah, maybe like a mass shooting here and there. You know, we could very easily get German Christmas market incidents. I could see that happening for sure. Like things like that. I could definitely see things like that happening, especially considering the unfettered immigration we had under Joe Biden. But I really don't foresee any kind of like wave of terrorist attacks happening here. Even if it, you know, we got a couple events within a very short time frame. Like, yes, it would affect a lot of people potentially, but it would not pose an existential threat to the United States as a whole. I really don't believe that at all. It wouldn't even come close. But yeah, still definitely needed to ensure that the world's leading sponsor of terrorism does not obtain nuclear capability. Like that's common sense in my opinion. And in fact, Glenn Beck, I mean, it's up to you if you want to trust Glenn Beck or not, but he recently said as well, it wouldn't have mattered who the president was. At some point, we would have had to take decisive action against Iran to prevent them from obtaining nuclear capability. And then you can go look at Hillary Clinton's past statements. She said as much as well. But she's always been extremely hawkish when it comes to war. So
to stop that problem when a large part of it is further away from us so it doesn't get here. Same thing if you had cancer. You're not going to wait until you're about to die before you start to treat it. You want to treat it as early and get rid of it as quick as possible.
Right.
If you don't know, I have a free email newsletter. That's the best.
Yeah, love Jeffrey Mead. He's great. Go follow him. Good stuff. All right, one more thing, then we'll take a look at the next Shirley video. This is the president of El Salvador, Bukele. What's his full name? Nayib Bukele. Released a video showing the transformation of El Salvador from during the time he's been in charge.
I'm not what happened to me. I'm what I choose to be.
Shit. Spam call, my bad. Look at this. Before.
I'm what I choose to be.
After. Look at all these umbrellas. Gone. Look at all this shit. Gone. Solar panels. See all this shit? Like this one's staggering to me. Look at this. Before. After. See all this shit? Like this looks like a Brazilian fucking pueblo or some shit, right? Just fucking nuke that shit. Just level it. Boom. They even, like, whatever this building is, they even raised it. See? Elevated it. Beautiful.
I'm not what happened to me.
Biggest difference I see here, this building right here, take a look. Top left. Where'd my slider go? Boom. Completely new building. They redid this too. A bunch of stuff, man. And then I think the rest is pretty much lighting. Now they completely redid this too on the bottom right. See that? That whole area. Oh, up here too. Completely reworked all this. Like almost everything in this. Boom. Nice, like beautiful little park area or some shit.
I'm what I choose to be.
Bro, they got cherry blossoms? They imported cherry blossoms? Holy shit, that's awesome. Was that statue there? It was. Why does it look so much better? I don't know.
Each step I take, I shift, I ride. The past dissolves before my eyes.
Damn. That's crazy. I think that's that same building, actually. That's like an H kind of shape. I don't know where it was. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the same building. That top left. See that? Top left. And then this one. Boom. That H shape on that. I don't know why I'm pointing. This H shape. Same building. Beautiful. Yeah, highlighting that same complex, that top left complex. Like I would too. That's a crazy change from this to this. Man, beautiful stuff. And what Bukele did was he took, in 1 year, he took 85,000 people and put them in jail. So he essentially took the worst of the worst and put them in jail. And there was a quote in here. Yeah, right here. He said, "Everything in life has a cost, and the cost of being called authoritarian is too small to bother me much." There you go. Got a gang-ridden, violent country. He comes into power. He says, "I'm going to fix my country. I'm going to make it safe for the everyday man." And he did it. Absolute cinema. So this is just proof that if you have people who have the will to affect positive change in positions of power, they can do it. So if you're not getting positive change, then look to your leaders and ask, why they're not affecting that change. All right, now Nick Shirley spoke at CPAC yesterday, the day before. I don't know when it was, and people said it was a good speech. So let's take a listen.
Thank you.
Ooh, you're pretty loud, Nick. Hang on. What's that?
Thank you.
Not bad.
I'm super excited to be here and to be able to speak to you guys today. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of Republicans nor Democrats. I'm here to speak on behalf of we the people. I think nowadays we can all agree that we all just want to live the American dream and have the best life possible.
Yes, sir.
However, it feels that sometimes, actually a lot of times, non-controversial issues are becoming controversial inside of America. For instance, if you take a look at the idea of deporting illegal migrants, that word is illegal. That should not be controversial.
Correct.
Or the idea that showing your ID to vote has become controversial. That's not controversial either.
Correct.
The idea that fraud is bad has become controversial. How is that controversial? I know a little bit about fraud. I know a little bit about Minnesota daycares as well. And it's crazy to think that we live in a world where somebody who exposes fraud can then be painted as the bad man from the politicians where he exposed the fraud. Shouldn't they be excited to know that the fraud is being exposed, because that's not a Republican dollar or a Democrat dollar, it's actually our dollars.
Yep, think about that. Someone comes, exposes fraud in your domain, and your reaction to that is hostility and anger and hate toward that person, instead of saying, thank you for exposing this fraud, or even this potential fraud. We'll look into it and we'll verify whether or not it is fraud, and if it is, we will come down with the hammer of God. Okay, not God. The hammer of the law upon these people, and we will make them pay for what they've done to us within the limits of the law, right?
I've never gotten a dollar bill that says right or red or blue or right or left.
Well, now we're going to get dollar bills that say President Donald J. Trump, but it's neither here nor there.
We all live inside of the same country, and we should all want the best for our country.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see fraud inside of our country taking place at literally rampant levels.
Yeah.
For instance, in Minnesota, there were programs like autism where you have 10,000% increases in the budget for autism. And this money then goes into the hands of fraudsters. How does somebody not look at that and say, there's a 10,000% increase in the budget for autism? Is there a 10,000% increase in autistic children inside of our neighborhoods? And if the answer is no, how are they justifying a 10,000% increase in the budget? And in other instances, like California, where you have a 1,000% increase in hospices, is everyone going to die in LA? I don't think so. So the idea that here inside the United States, when we have these non-controversial issues that have become controversial, it puts us into a weird culture war where it puts people into a position to think, okay, well, wait, how are you supporting this when you're actually not benefiting we the people. We all live inside of the United States. We're not supposed to be, when elected officials elected, they're not supposed to represent 50% of the population. They're supposed to represent 100% of the population.
Yes,
In
sir.
an instance where fraud is taking place inside our country, each and every single person should want to crack down on that fraud. Because if we don't, these people can continue just to literally steal our dollars.
Yep.
And they steal our dollars, and then they send it overseas, and once it's overseas, we can't ever get that money back. And that's something that I've learned as I've gone about exposing this fraud. And a lot of times, these people that are taking our tax dollars are foreigners who are not even from the United States of America, and they're...
Yep, that's right. Once they send that money over to fucking Somalia or wherever the fuck they send it, there's no getting it back. You can bust them, hold them accountable, throw them in jail. They don't have the money to pay it back. They're never going to make that money, but nearly that much money back. Unless they go, commit more fraud somewhere else where they don't get caught. They'll never have the money to pay that back. So you're never going to see it again. It's gone. It's gone.
Stealing our money. And it's just been so crazy to see how in all 50 states there is fraud. However, it seems to be that most of the fraud is in a lot of these blue cities. And when you go out and expose the fraud, I mean, I think Gavin Newsom, he posted a photo of me the other day and had 10 cameras on me, an AI-generated image saying, "Where are the kids?" trying to depict me as a pervert for exposing fraud. How sick does a governor have to be to say that the kid exposing the fraud is the bad person versus the fraudsters that are stealing the money?
That's fucked up. Think of how fucked up that is.
And going through this experience of exposing this fraud, I finally came to understand why, for instance, why they attack Elon Musk so hard, why they burn down his factories, or why they burn down his cars, or why they attack him so much when he was simply exposing fraud to help every single citizen. Well, it just happens to be that these politicians don't want the fraud to be exposed because they're involved in the fraud.
They have to be. Like, there's no other explanation.
And nowadays, since I've posted that video, my life has changed.
And I think Tim Walz dropping out of the next, what is he, senator, governor, I don't know, whatever, dropping out of the next race, saying, okay, this is my last term, I'm done after this. I think that's an admission of guilt. That's a blatant admission of guilt, because that happened like days after Nick Shirley's stuff started going viral about Minnesota. Blatant admission of guilt by doing that. Blatant. Like, somebody investigated that man, put him in fucking prison already. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Nowadays, since I've posted that video, my life has changed. It changed a little bit. I'm speaking here in front of all you guys, so thank you. But my life's changed a little bit because the idea that a governor, for instance, Gavin Newsom, can go ahead and post that photo, and everyone knows that I'm not the bad man for exposing the fraud, but a small group will then think, wow, that kid is a bad person. He is what they're trying to depict me to be. That now I have to walk around with security when I go to cities, or people will try to literally... Last time I was in California, I was just there the other day. I couldn't stay at a hotel because last time I was in California, after I posted that fraud video, somebody tried to take a photo and put it into a Reddit group chat, and a group of people were looking for me because I exposed the fraud.
Crazy.
Like, that's crazy to think that we live in a society nowadays where somebody going to do a big public service for the country has to worry for their life. And it actually makes me a bit upset because how have we gotten to that point where we've lost common sense and where non-controversial issues have become controversial? And it's actually very worrisome. And a lot of people come to me and say, well, Nick, how can we help? Or how do we do what you did inside our own communities? Or how do you have like the courage to go out and do this? And I've really fallen...
Look, my real question is, how do you have the... I mean, he's in his early 20s, right? Like, how do you have the support, like, financially and mainly financially to go do this? Because obviously if you're fucking traveling around the country and shit, you got all this expensive equipment and shit, you got all this time to cut, edit, upload all this stuff, etc. Do the preliminary research in the first place to get leads on this stuff. make the connections to these people who facilitate it as well? How do you have the resources financially and, you know, both, you know, human capital as well to go about doing this? So I mean, he's got to be from a pretty well-off family to go about doing this stuff. I don't know. Or maybe he just said, hey, you know, this is what I want to do. I'm just gonna, you know, forget working or all this other shit. I got, you know, X amount of money. I'm going to use that to get me started. And, you know, maybe he found success from that enough to keep going. Who knows? That's the hardest part for me to even conceptualize.
And
also, I just realized in the middle of the video I had my mic sitting about a foot over here. I forgot to put it in its correct spot. So hopefully I was audible for everything else.
I've really fallen in love with the quote or the speech from Theodore Roosevelt that's called "The Man in the Arena," and it talks about critics and talks about how, like, you don't ever worry what a critic does as long as you know you're fighting for a worthy cause, and it doesn't matter if you fail as long as you're working for a worthy cause. But who's to say that you're not the one risking everything, standing there all alone, going about it? And why should you worry about the critics? Why should you worry about the naysayers, or why should you worry about the opposition when you're fighting for a worthy cause? We all are fighting for a worthy cause inside of our communities, with our families, in our churches, at our schools, because a lot of things that we're fighting against are non-controversial issues that have become controversial. No girl...
I'll say the trap here is, if everybody believes their cause is worthy, well, then you get that individual who's out there fighting against the non-controversial issue, right? But in their twisted mind, they believe it's controversial. And if they apply this same mentality to their own beliefs, then they believe that they're in the right, their cause is worthy. So I mean, it's kind of some feel-good advice. It's not really. I mean, it's how you should view your own beliefs, right? But like even if you think that way, if you're trying to support something crazy, like, I don't know, convincing little Johnny that he should be little Tiffany, then the majority of people are gonna overwhelm you, and you're gonna lose out, right? We're not gonna let little Johnny become little Tiffany, fucking 12-year-old kid. Okay.
Should ever have to worry about a man playing on their sports team. Like, the idea that that's become controversial is insane. And it takes men and women who are ready to become that man in the arena to be able to confront the opposition, confront those critics. Because if no one does, they will win. And when we're fighting for common sense issues that aren't controversial, but nowadays have become controversial, each one of us have to step up and become that person who steps in the arena and says, I don't care what they say, or I don't care what he or she says, I'm going to do it because it's a worthy cause. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, because if you don't, the critics will win.
Yep.
And their voices are a lot louder. That's how they try to intimidate you. Imagine if I would have been intimidated by Governor Walz calling me a delusional conspiracy theorist, a far-right white supremacist, or all the other things that those politicians called me. In fact, they even incited riots inside their cities for somebody who exposed fraud. Meanwhile, the Leering Center, it wasn't much to hide. Like, that fraud was very obvious. In fact, the Leering Center then even closed down. They fled the city because they know they're committing fraud. And one thing for you guys to think about is, who are the critics? Who are those people that are saying that you're the bad person, or that what you're doing is not right? Well, a lot of times it's the media. A lot of the times it's that person who listens to the media where they've lost that idea of common sense thinking. And so nowadays, the most important thing I feel like for any of us to do is to think, okay, is the cause I'm fighting for, is it a controversial issue? Or is it actually non-controversial, but it's an issue that has become controversial from the critics? And we cannot ever pander to the critics, and we have to keep pursuing a worthy cause.
That's right. If somebody attacks you and you shoot them dead after they attacked you, shouldn't be controversial. Shouldn't be Hell, if I have kids one day and my kid one day goes and attacks someone, they shoot him dead. I'm not gonna be out there saying, "Oh, he was a good boy," all this bullshit. I'm gonna say, I'll probably say it through tears, but I'll say, "Oh, he shouldn't have been attacking this guy. He brought it on himself. I love him and miss him, and I hope he's in heaven. I can see him when I get there one day, if I make it there. But he shouldn't have been attacking this person. That's what happens. And if you are gonna attack someone, you better just fucking shoot them, dude. Because if they got a gun and you're attacking them, and you don't got a gun, they're probably gonna fucking shoot you, and you're gonna be dead, right? So I mean, better make it count if you're gonna attack someone. Don't attack anyone though. Just hypothetical situation.
Because what we're fighting for is worthy. America is the greatest country in the world. And people like to act like it's not, but meanwhile, all the other countries had thousands of years to do it. We had 250 years to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever made us the greatest country in those 250 years, we need to make sure that it remains that same way, or else we will fall and the critics will win, and we will not stay the greatest country in the world.
Right.
And so that's my message for you guys today, is to think, really, okay, what cause are we fighting for? Is it a worthy cause? Is it something that's actually not controversial, but maybe the mainstream media or a critic has told me that that's a controversial issue? And when you know it's not, fight and be ready to become the man or the woman in the arena, because if you don't, the critics will win. And this is the greatest country in the world for a reason. We did it in 250 years. Everyone else had thousands of years to do it, and we did that. And so I'm proud to be here today, and I know you guys are all ready to become that man or that woman in the arena, because it is a worthy cause that we are fighting for. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty good. All right, good stuff. Yeah, Nick's still got a long way to go with public speaking, but I think he's definitely improving. And he looks good in a suit. I fully expected him to come out in a hoodie. I'm not gonna lie, but he came out in a suit, looked good. I think it was a pretty good speech, and 100% right. Things that should not be controversial, that the media makes out to be controversial, or these liberal extremists who pretend to be Democrats. You're not Democrats. You're liberal extremists who make these non-controversial things out to be controversial. They're un-American, evil people who are trying to destroy our country in a multitude of ways, which I won't go into. But yeah, I kind of want to take a look at this. What do you say, the man, Teddy Roosevelt? The man in the arena speech. So I've never heard of that, actually. Let me go to the YouTube. Control copy. I'm gonna swap over here because I don't know what YouTube account I got signed in. I got a number of accounts rolling, and there's no telling which one will come up. It's the wrong one, of course. Excuse me. 1 second. There it is. Swap back over. Right here. Only 2 minutes, 47 seconds? Really? Got 5.8 million views. That's got to be it. All right.
The poorest way to...
It's a little loud, Teddy. I mean, that's not Teddy's voice, is it? There's no way, right?
Face life.
That should be good. We're going to go with that.
The poorest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. There are many men who feel a kind of twisted pride and cynicism. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. There is no...
Wait, look at that again. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. It reminds me of people who Like when I see a professional soccer player sky a tap in over the crossbar from 3 feet out, and I go, holy shit, you're getting paid millions of dollars and you can't convert that? Like the goalie's not even in front of him, bro. You just got to tap it in. What are you doing? No defender, no goalie, nothing. You just got to tap it in. Have a tiny bit of composure. Think about that giant fucking check you're receiving. Have a tiny bit of composure. Tap it in. Score the goal. Win the game for your team. And I go and I say, man, you got to score that. And then you get some fucking dumb piece of shit who comes in and says, oh, have you played professionally? Were you in the Olympics? Or some bullshit like that. It's like, I don't have to be the greatest soccer player who ever fucking lived. I don't have to be fucking Lionel Messi or Pele to know that someone making millions of dollars should be able to convert a tap-in from 3 feet out with no defender or goalie in front of him, between him and the goal. You have to score that. And hey, if I'm the coach and I see that, like they're in a tough spot because they're committed to paying that money, right? So, but like personally, if I'm the coach, I yank that motherfucker, and maybe if he's lucky, he gets another chance in a month, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I don't know. Tangent done.
Those dare not even attempt. There is no more unhealthy being, no man less worthy of respect than he who either really holds or feigns to hold an attitude of sneering disbelief toward all that is great and lofty, whether in achievement or in that noble effort which, even if it fails, comes to second achievement.
Yeah.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who was actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again.
That guy who skied the tap in.
Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
Pretty good. It's just music. All right. Yep. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Well said. He's talking about me as well with my critique of the guy who skied the fucking tap in. But I mean, man, come on. I'd say to Teddy Roosevelt too, if we're talking about the guy, the professional player who skies that tap in, like, no, he's got to make it. You're right, but he has to make that. Come on. I think he'd agree with me too. But yeah, good speech. See, people like Nick Shirley, when I think of Charlie Kirk, I almost said Tucker Carlson, but yeah, even Tucker Carlson, he's got a lot of like knowledge about stuff like this. And like Charlie Kirk, Nick Shirley, they just know like they have a lot of background knowledge, it seems like, about historical figures. Whether it's ancient, what's the word? Philosophers, or just historical figures like Teddy there. Good stuff though. But yeah, that's there were a couple other things I was thinking about taking a look at, but we'll stop there. That's really all I wanted to take a look at. I hope the audio, I hope I was audible in the first half when my mic was over here. I'm just gonna post it without even checking it, gonna be honest, but yeah, if you appreciate the video, you want to see more, I think I'm doing pretty good. I got like 4 days in a row. Goal is to post something every day. Just take a look at some current event or something every day. And hey, the world's feeding a lot of content right now, whether it's the Iran war or, you know, retards crashing out over ICE. So that transgender lawyer throwing a literal hissy fit like a child. Update on him, by the way. He ended his practice for now, and he's gonna, I don't know, work at McDonald's or some shit to get by. So, you know, El Bozo on that. But yeah, anyways, that's about it for now. Peace.